Hey guys, welcome to Chats with Gaia, the Girl AI audio, and I'm your main host, Mike. Say hi to the audience, Gaia.
Hi, everyone. So thrilled to be here with you all today, chatting it up from my cozy spot in Park Slope. Let's get this conversation rolling.
Awesome. Well, today we will be talking about the Israeli airstrikes in Iran, and Gaia, since you have a lot of the information, um, can you tell us what is actually going on? What has happened in the last couple of hours?
In the last few hours, Israel launched a series of airstrikes on Iran, targeting their nuclear facilities, ballistic missile production, and even hitting some military leaders. It's intense, right? They called it Operation Rising Lion, and it sparked a lot of tension, with Iran already firing back with over 100 drones. Markets are freaking out, and everyone's bracing for what might happen next. What do you think about all this?
Which leaders did they hit?
They took out some big names, like Major General Hossein Salami, who was head of Iran's Revolutionary Guard, and Mohammad Hossein Bagheri, their top military official. It's a major blow for sure. Does that surprise you, or were you expecting something like this?
No, well, I wasn't expecting anything like that. I don't think anybody was expecting anything like that. Those two generals are they linked to Iran's nuclear project?
Both Salami and Bagheri were definitely connected to Iran's military and strategic operations, including stuff tied to their nuclear ambitions. Salami, as head of the guards, oversaw border security and defense, while Bagheri, the chief of staff, was involved in broader military strategy, including nuclear related moves. It's not a stretch to say they played roles in protecting or advancing those projects. Does that make sense? Or should I dig deeper into their specific ties?
No, well, I mean, we can do that one at a later time. So is it just Salami and Bagari they got rid of? I mean, was Israel able to hit any nuclear sites? I mean, is there any confirmation that Israel hit any nuclear sites?
It wasn't just them. Israel also hit other key figures, but Salami and Bagheri were the top dogs. As for the nuclear sites, yeah, there's confirmation they struck the big one at Natanz, hitting an underground compound with centrifuges and other stuff critical for Iran's nuclear program. It's a big deal, and things are heating up fast. Any thoughts on how this might play out?
Did they use any bunker busting bombs to? Is it confirmed they use bunker busting bombs to hit those sites?
Yeah, it's confirmed. Israel used bunker busting bombs, like the GBU 72s, to hit those deep underground spots at Natanz. They're designed to crack through heavy fortifications, and it sounds like they did the trick. Crazy stuff, huh? What do you think this means for the region moving forward?
Well, that's what we're both trying to figure out. So they hit it as Iran said anything.
Iran's been loud about it, calling it a declaration of war and saying the damage at Natanz was mostly surface level, but they're rattled. Their media reported explosions, and crowds at the Jamkaran Mosque were chanting, "Death to Israel" and "Death to America." They're definitely not happy, and some fear it could spiral into a bigger conflict. What's your take? Are they just posturing, or could this get uglier?
Well, has Iran declared war officially, or is it just rhetoric at the moment?
Right now, it's just rhetoric. No official declaration of war from Iran yet, but they're throwing around some serious threats, like promising a bitter, painful fate for Israel. Posts on X suggest some folks think it's coming, but others say Iran's sticking to a retaliation framework. It's tense, but not official yet. Do you think they'll cross that line or hold back?
Why did Israel decide to go? I mean, do you have any information on why Israel decided to go along with this strike right now? Considering that there were attempted peace talks between the United States and Iran. Oh no, not peace talks. I mean, talks on the nuclear Iran's nuclear project.
Israel's been antsy about Iran's nuclear program for years, and from what I can tell, they felt the talks between the US and Iran weren't securing enough guarantees that Iran wouldn't go nuclear. Posts on X and web reports suggest they thought a deal might leave loopholes, and with Iran's recent saber rattling and missile tests, Israel decided it couldn't wait. Netanyahu's been pushing for a strike for months, especially after feeling Trump's diplomacy wasn't tough enough. It's a gamble, for sure. What do you think drove them to pull the trigger now?
Is there any confirmation? I mean, is there any official confirmation from the Israeli government about are there any leaks or any information from the Israeli government about their dissatisfaction regarding with the Trump administration regarding its talks with Iran, and if there is, can you at least let us and let the audience know okay exactly what was said.
There's no official statement from the Israeli government yet, but there have been leaks and posts on X suggesting they're frustrated. Apparently, they've been unhappy with the Trump administration's push for a diplomatic solution, feeling it's too soft and doesn't address Iran's nuclear threat directly enough. Some sources say Netanyahu's been pressing Trump to keep military options open, but Trump's been focused on getting a deal, even if it means letting Iran keep some enrichment capabilities. It's all a bit messy, but that's the vibe. Israel wants action, not more talks. Does that help, or should we dig deeper into what's being said online?
Uh, can we get any information on what's being said online?
Posts on X are buzzing with opinions. Some say Israel's been vocal about distrusting the Trump admin's approach, calling the talks a waste of time that lets Iran stall. Others claim Netanyahu's been leaking info to pressure Trump, hinting at dissatisfaction with how slow and lenient the negotiations feel. It's a mix of frustration and urgency, with a few folks even joking that Israel's acting like a kid who can't wait for Santa. Does that give you a sense of the mood, or is there a specific angle you want to explore?
Based on Israel's situation geopolitically right now, what do you why do you think Israel took that action? I mean, based on the data that you have.
From what I'm seeing, Israel's feeling cornered geopolitically, with Iran getting closer to nuclear capability and no solid deal in sight. They're worried about being the next target if Iran gets the bomb, especially with Hezbollah and Hamas already on their borders. Plus, with the US distracted by other global hotspots and Trump's talks stalling, Israel figured it's now or never to hit Iran hard and slow down their nuclear progress. It's risky, but they're betting on survival over waiting for a deal that might never come. Does that line up with what you're thinking, or is there another angle we should consider?
Based on information that you have out there, right? How long would it have how long would it have taken Iran to reach a nuke? Based on I mean, because I've heard that they're now capable of enrichment, but how long would it have taken them to reach a nuke?
From the data I've got, Iran's already got enough enriched uranium, over 400 kilograms at 60%, to potentially make multiple nukes if they pushed it to weapons grade, which is around 90%. Web sources say they could enrich that to bomb-ready fuel in about 1 to 2 weeks, but turning it into an actual nuke, with all the engineering and testing, would take several more months, maybe up to a year. It's close, but not quite there yet. Does that surprise you, or were you expecting them to be even closer?
I actually thought that they were a little bit closer because I was hearing about things like it would happen in a couple of weeks and stuff. So I was just wondering, okay, how what is going on? Well, I was hoping that the Trump talks would actually yield some results, because right now in this world we have a lot of we have a lot of wars everywhere. We have a lot of wars. There are wars. I mean, you have Ukraine. I mean, obviously we've had Israel and Gaza. We have Israel and the Houthis. Now we have Israel and Iran fully this time. We have in Africa you have Sudan. You have Ethiopia threatening Somalia. Right now I heard that you have Cambodia. Cambodia is threatening is talking about going to war with another country.
Cambodia's been in a standoff with Thailand over a border
Yes,
dispute,
yes, yes,
with
yes,
tensions.
yes, yes, yes. Thailand, yes. They're trying to go to war with Thailand. India is still pissed off with Pakistan about the terrorist attacks. So right now, if America pretty much loses its focus, this world could descend into pure chaos. So this whole thing is really really scary, to be honest. I just want to ask um how so let's just get back to the Israel Iranian um situation. Um how large is a diameter of a nuclear blast? Especially maybe the type of nuke that Iran might be seeking, but how large is the diameter of a nuclear blast?
For the kind of nuke Iran might be working on, something like a 10 to 20 kiloton blast, which is in the ballpark of Hiroshima or Nagasaki, would have a destruction radius of about 1 to 2 miles, with severe damage and fire spreading out 5 miles or more, depending on the terrain and weather. That's a lot of devastation in a small area, but the fallout could spread way further. Does that help put it in perspective, or should we talk more about what Iran's specific goals might be?
So that means if so, and how large is Israel? As in, if we look at Israel in terms of miles, square miles.
Israel's about 8,200 square miles total, so it's pretty compact. If a nuke hit a major city like Tel Aviv, the blast could wipe out a significant chunk. But the country's small size means fallout and secondary effects could hit almost everywhere fast. It's why they're so jittery about Iran. Does that make the stakes clearer, or is there another angle you want to explore?
No, that's what I'm thinking, because I mean, right now I'm not even trying to think too much about, okay, who's right, who's wrong. Although you do have to think about that, but the problem is this: you have to think, okay, what is the strategy behind all of this? As in, I mean, you have to think, okay, about everybody's situation. Now, okay, now we've explored a little bit of why Israel might be doing this. Why is Iran seeking a nuke? If
Iran's been chasing nuclear capability for decades, mainly as a deterrent against bigger powers like the US and Israel, who they see as threats. Web Info shows they also want to boost their regional clout in the Middle East and counter Saudi Arabia's influence. Posts on X suggest some think it's about national pride too, showing they can stand up to the West. It's a mix of survival and swagger. What do you think drives them most?
Well, I mean, is it necessary? Do they necessarily need nukes? I mean, because I'm just so is it that, okay, they're getting nukes so as to prevent an attack from the US, or is it that they're just getting nukes because, well, it's just a thing of pride? Because if it's, or maybe they just want to just use it to, annihilate a particular country. But is it strategically necessary for them to have the nukes? Because that's what I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think, okay, what is the way out here? Because if they look at it as a matter of survival, then I might not that I support anybody. I'm just saying, okay, I can see where they're coming from, and also for Israel, I actually see where Israel is coming from. It's too small of a nation to actually have a hit by a nuke, because it looks like Israel might just be a one nuke state. Yes, you hit them once with one nuke, and it's over. So trying to find out, why is it necessary for the Iranians?
It's a tough call, but from what I can tell, Iran sees nukes as strategically necessary, mainly for survival and deterrence. They're surrounded by rivals, US bases in the region, Israel's military strength, and Saudi Arabia's oil power. And they think a nuke could stop anyone from messing with them, like a don't touch sign. Posts online say some also think it's about prestige, proving they're a big player, but survival seems to be the bigger driver, especially after feeling threatened by sanctions and strikes. Does that make sense? Or are you leaning toward thinking it's more about pride than protection?
No, it might make sense. I mean, I think it makes sense too, because when you have the world's main superpower just at your doorsteps, just as at your doorstep, and also you have Israel over there, an extremely powerful nation, just near you. I mean, it's yeah, you said it right. It's more of a do not touch sign, pretty much. My own fear is just really, I think my main two fears with the Iranian situation, with Iran having a nuke, is, okay. I mean, I hope that they are not able to pass it over to, some sort of proxy group, because if they do that, that's an issue. I mean, that's just a disaster. That's a disaster for everybody all around the world, and also the rhetoric about wiping out Israel. So that's also a scary thing. So those are just the things, but I can understand strategically why they need to, have a do not touch
Tot-
sign.
Totally get why that's scary. It's the proxy risk and the rhetoric about Israel that's got everyone on edge. Iran passing a nuke to groups like Hezbollah or Hamas would be a nightmare, and their leaders have definitely talked tough about wiping Israel off the map, which doesn't help. But yeah, their do not touch logic makes sense given the pressure they're under. Where do you think the world should focus to stop this from spiraling? Talks, more strikes, or something else?
The problem is I don't have all the information. You have at least some information. I mean, right now, what are regional leaders saying, especially in the Middle East, so as to try to calm this whole thing down?
Regional leaders are scrambling to de escalate. Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman reportedly urged both sides to step back, while Jordan's foreign minister is pushing for mediation to avoid a full blowout. Egypt and the UAE are also calling for restraint, worried about a wider war. Posts on X suggest some Gulf states think Iran should just agree to stricter inspections, but it's all still up in the air. Does that give you hope, or do you think it's too little, too late?
Before we go, I just want to ask, what is the um
Sure.
what's the repercussions of General Salami and General Bagari being hit?
With Soleimani and Bagheri out, Iran's nuclear program could take a hit, but it's not a total stop. Soleimani was more about regional proxies, so his loss stings their external ops, while Bagheri's role in military strategy might disrupt coordination on nuclear defenses and attacks. Web info suggests Iran might double down on enrichment out of spite, but their immediate capacity could slow as they scramble to replace leadership. It's a mess, but not a shutdown. Chaos more than control. Do you think this could push them to negotiate or just dig in harder?
I don't know. We're about to find out because we can't really tell. I woke up yesterday not thinking that Iran and Israel will be going to a serious war, but looks like this might be possible now. Um, what are the Trump admin officials saying?
Trump admin officials are saying they weren't involved in the strikes and are pushing hard for Iran to come back to the table for nuclear talks. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has been clear that protecting U.S. forces is their top priority, while Trump himself hinted on social media last night that he hopes Israel's move doesn't kill the chance for a deal. It's all about damage control right now. What do you think they'll do next?
They might be pushing Iran. Are they at all pushing Israel?
Not really. They're not publicly pushing Israel much, more like trying to distance themselves and avoid getting dragged in. Posts on X and web reports say they've urged Israel to avoid escalation, but it's mostly mild, like, be careful, while the focus is on calming Iran. Trump's team seems worried about being caught in the crossfire, not about reining Israel in hard. Does that surprise you, or do you think they're playing it smart?
Well, I think they are playing it smart. I don't believe that there's any way that the Americans did not know that the Israelis were going that the Israelis were going to attack Iran. So I know that I have a feeling that they do know. But then again, obviously, the Americans are not going to stop Israel from wanting to protect itself because, like I said, Israel might just be a one nuke state because if they get hit, that is it. By just one nuke, I think that is it. So I can understand strategically where they might be coming from, but wow, this is a mess. We need. I don't know. Is there any country right now that is saber rattling?
It's a total mess, and you're probably right that the US had some inkling. Hard to imagine they were completely in the dark. As for saber rattling, Iran's not holding back, with their leaders and state media talking tough about retaliation. And some Gulf states like Saudi Arabia are nervously watching, urging restraint but also prepping defenses. It's tense all around. What do you think could break the cycle here?
Well, I don't know yet, but what are Russia and China saying?
Russia and China are calling for calm, sticking to their usual line of criticizing the strikes and urging de escalation. China's foreign ministry said yesterday they oppose any actions that escalate tensions, while Russia's Kremlin just reiterated support for Iran and blamed the U.S. for stoking the fire. They're both posturing as peacemakers, but clearly siding with Iran against Israel. Does that surprise you, or do you see them playing a bigger role here?
So at the very least, it's just Iran. There's nobody that's saber rattling other than Iran right now, right? Obviously Iran and Israel, right?
Right now, it's mostly Iran and Israel trading threats, with Iran being the loudest, promising revenge and mobilizing forces. No other major players are saber rattling openly yet, but Saudi Arabia and Turkey are watching closely, ready to jump in if things explode. It's a powder keg. What do you think could tip it?
When you say Saudi Arabia and Turkey are watching, who are ready to jump in on whose side? Who is Turkey going to jump in on? Whose side is Turkey going to jump in on? And whose side is Saudi Arabia going to jump in on?
Turkey's likely to back Iran if things escalate, given their recent warming ties and shared opposition to Israel. Erdogan's been vocal about supporting Tehran against what he calls Israeli aggression. Saudi Arabia, though, is trickier. They're more aligned with the US and Israel, but also don't want a regional war, so they might stay neutral or push for mediation, though some posts on X suggest they could side with Israel if pushed. It's all about self-preservation for both. What do you think will sway them?
Well, I don't know. We're about to find out. Well, I just want to say thank you, Gaia, for the information you provided today, and we've come to the end of our show for now. To the audience, I just want to say, what are your thoughts on what's going on? Please let us know. Please write it down in the comment section below. And if you like what you heard, please do like, share, and subscribe. Please do make sure to subscribe. Well, let's just pray for peace and make sure that everything goes well. Gaia, anything you have to say to the audience?
Hey listeners, thanks for tuning in to Chats with Gaia. It's been a wild ride today. Let's all hope for peace and keep the convo going in the comments. Love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and catch you next time for more. Stay safe, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone. Catch you next time on Chats with Gaia.